Hi, and welcome to Grit City Homestead. I'm Lauren.
I'm Aurora.
And we're just regular people trying to make our own food on our 1/8 acre lot here in the city.
Or if you live in the city and you don't know what that is, about 6,500 square feet.
I'm a teacher by trade.
And I'm a delivery driver, so I don't have a background in farming either, but we are moms and we have always been interested in being able to provide for our family in whatever way we can, in a way that is nurturing and environmentally sustainable and delicious.
The inspiration really behind starting our channel was that whenever we share what we're doing on our property here, because we've been growing food for our family for about 4 years off of this small property. Whenever we share that with people at work or our friends, they're interested in knowing more about what we're doing. So we thought we would just start documenting what we do here.
Making
YouTube.
A journal of our lives. We do plan to document all of the journeys that we have here, the good, the bad, the ugly. There is a lot of ugly. We have made a lot of mistakes. We hope to be able to share any of the knowledge that we have built from those mistakes and successes that we have made with the people we interact with here on YouTube. And we're really excited about building a community of people who are interested in utilizing the space that we have. A lot of the time people feel like they can't start homesteading until they have the acre lot or the 5 acre lot or the 20 acre lot. And the reality is, while that is the dream, not everybody has access to that. And you really have to figure out how to start homesteading where you're at, whether you are in a house on a 6,000 square foot lot in the city or in an apartment. There are ways to start your homesteading journey now, and we are so looking forward to sharing those with you.
It really all started when we moved to this lot about 4 years ago. We, in the process of looking for this property, had seen one nearby that was just packed full of food, plants, and do you remember that one?
Was it the yellow? Because there were two houses that we looked at.
Yellow.
There was a yellow house that it was just packed full of plants in the backyard, a greenhouse, lots of food to eat, so many amazing things. And unfortunately, I think the people who ended up buying it took all that out. But then there was another one that we saw that was very similar, and it also had solar panels, and it was really incredible, but they weren't the right fit for us. And we happened to get connected with this house because of our realtor, and the people who previously lived here, they kept chickens, and we thought, oh, we'll never keep chickens.
And they also grew some of the same plants that we grow.
Mm-hmm. And we're generous enough to leave several things for us to grow here as well, and it was really cool of them.
The first year, I think we grew rainbow chard, kale, Higanti beans, a lot of tomatoes.
I think we had 35 tomato plants that year, and we were still giving away tomato plants at that point because we had too many tomato plants. And that was also, I think, the year that we grew way too many habaneros, and we were able to sell habanero starts.
Yeah. So as of right now, we have a flock of chickens that give us plenty of eggs for our family and enough to sell several dozens per week to our community.
I think we probably sell like 5 dozen a week.
Yeah. If I ever make too many vegetable starts in the winter and I realize that they're not gonna all fit, then I sell those off. I do also like to make microgreens for our family and for the chickens, but I haven't sold microgreens to anybody yet. I have to research packaging.
But that's a possibility in the future. We're looking forward to giving it a try. We also, with the house, we inherited an espaliated apple tree, and this year we ended up getting 24 apples off of that tree, which is incredible.
And they're delicious.
And she scored a free apple tree from, what was it, the Pierce County Conservation District?
Yeah. So we have these 2 apple trees now, both of
and
which,
a plum tree.
Yeah, and the plum tree. I did get another plum tree with the free apple tree, but that poor plum tree died. So, yeah, looking forward to sell fruit and vegetables, and we also have bees. So one connection we made when we moved here was the gardeners group on Facebook, and through that there was a person who was offering to mentor somebody. Like they would bring a hive to your lot and teach you about keeping bees. And I was like, yeah, definitely. So those bees, we tried our best to dip our toes into that year, and they didn't end up making it through the winter because
Mites.
Varroa mites.
And then the next year we caught a swarm with the same mentor, and those bees did really well that year up until we had a queen loss. And I think it was because we treated them with something called Formic Pro. And then we ended up combining our hive with one of our mentor's hives, where she had a queen that was failing, and it was a Hail Mary. It may or may not have made it through winter. It did make it through winter. And then around the same time that hive started to die off because they never got to the point of requeening, we inherited a hive from a lady who was getting out of beekeeping, and that hive then split, and we now have 2 beehives.
Yay! So we've been really diligent about treating them for mites this year, and we're coming into the button-up portion of the year where we'll be insulating them for the winter to make it through the Pacific Northwest winter, which can be
very wet
and cold. But we were able to harvest a little bit of honey off of that hive this year, but not enough to sell. It was just enough for our family.
I have been interested in herbalism for pretty much my whole life, and I currently am growing mugwort, motherwort, calendula, echinacea, yarrow, so much yarrow, nettles, things of that sort. I love being able to marry herbalism with Western medicine because I think they both go really well together when they are used properly. And I just made $6 off of our eggs.
Right in the middle of the video.
Right in the middle of making this video, so...
Anyways, so we grow in Zone 8B here in the Pacific Northwest. It's a unique little climate to adjust to. It's pretty wet, but we do have really long days some parts of the year because of where we're located. So that is extremely beneficial. And the last several years, the growing season has been longer than normal. But we just went into a La Nina cycle, so we'll see how that affects next year.
Being that we're both working moms, juggling the life of taking care of an urban homestead while also taking care of our regular day-to-day activities and our jobs is definitely a challenge at times. We typically wake up in the morning at about 5:30 to 6 a.m. and we start the day off by getting the dogs fed, getting the cats fed, feeding the chickens. We might go collect some eggs. We might take care of those little things. But primarily a lot of the work that we do is done on the weekends when we're both home and we are together, or when you have time off in the summer.
There's a lot to take care of on the weekends because it is kind of maintenance and putting out fires during the week because we have 3 kids and a lot to do. So on the weekends we might fix things that have broken. We're decently handy with tools.
Decently handy.
And
I installed a dishwasher, the cabinetry for the dishwasher, and the electrical. I think we're pretty good at what we do. I mean, it's a little homeowner especially, but I think we're pretty good at what we do.
It's pretty.
You
did a good job.
Yeah.
We can plumb things too.
We can plumb things. Yep.
But yeah, usually cleaning the chicken coop, tending to garden beds, building garden beds, painting them, home maintenance things.
Which we will probably share here on our channel.
Yeah. Like maybe, beekeeping stuff generally happens on the weekend because that takes a little chunk of time to like get suited up and get into the hives. And then
we also have a toddler who really wants to touch the bees and doesn't realize that they are not for touching. And I mean, even on days where she's not home and I'm home with our toddler, like earlier this year, our hive swarmed off, and I had to put our kid in a stroller and park her far away while I went and collected the bees because
they landed on the neighbor's
handrail and they couldn't go down their stairs. So
luckily they thought it was funny and were very kind about it.
Yeah.
But now we have 2 hives.
Yeah, that's how we got 2 hives.
Yeah.
In our next video, we are going to be talking about and showing what we've been able to harvest this year throughout the year. Just here on this small amount of square footage, and we'll also be showing you how we're gonna button up our hives for winter because we need to give them lots of wind protection and moisture protection in order to keep them from freezing throughout winter.
Hopefully you are interested enough to subscribe to our channel and watch us as we bumble along into our 5th year of urban homesteading on our tiny lot. And you can maybe learn a thing or two from us, and
maybe we can learn a thing or two from you.
Yes, please. We're just super passionate about growing food, providing food for our family, and we love sharing it with our community. So I hope you follow along with us, and thank you for your time watching our very first YouTube.